Oh, can you feel that heat down in your soul? Golly gee, is it good to be back. Ty's point to the W. We're ready to roll here on the Setup Man postgame show, which starts right now.
Let's go!
Oh, finally. This feels so much better than yesterday. Welcome in to the Setup Man postgame show. I am Alex Burrell along with Setup Man Ty Lewin. Thank you for joining me, sir. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hop in the comments section, let's talk. And actually, in Block B, we're going to change things up a little bit. We got a little game we're going to play, and we want you, the audience, in the chat to join us and play a little game that we'll get to in a little bit. No spoilers. But, Ty, man, oh man, that felt better.
That was awesome.
Yeah!
I will say this. It's 162 days of our lives this season where we will deal with ups, we will deal with downs. Yesterday was something that was such a wrench in how good the Cubs have been playing this year. I mean, God, Alex, this ball club is good.
Real good.
Offense is solid. This bullpen will figure its way out. The starting rotation will figure its way out as well. Craig Counsell is a damn good manager. Yes, he makes some mistakes, but damn it, he can do a good job too. And it just felt so good that this team they just come back after these hard losses to take. And they take advantage of that opportunity. And I give them a lot of credit tonight. The offense absolutely showed up. There's so many things we'll get to with this game and some other points as well, Alex. But, man, that one felt good.
So, just to back that up, so the final score was 14-1. Cubs win. Oh, that's great. They had 21 hits tonight, of which 8 came from the hitters in the 6th spot, the 7th spot, the 8th spot, and the 9th spot. So the bottom of the order has lifted this team up all season long. Today was no exception. 8 hits from PCA all the way down to Matt Shaw in the batting order. This offense is not the problem. It's the starting rotation where I think a lot of our question marks lie. Well, that and the bullpen. Pitching in general. But star of the game tonight is probably Kyle Tucker. However, I want to give a shout out to Jameson Taillon. Because since last Wednesday, from us being the general we, Cubs Nation, Setup Man Nation, what is Taillon's problem? Sure, he only gave up 3 runs, but they were all solo home runs. What's the deal? Tonight, 7 complete innings, 2 Ks, 3 walks. So he was hunting strikeouts a little bit more than he was last Wednesday, and I appreciated that. Sometimes walks aren't the worst thing in the world. He gave up 1 run, which was a solo shot, which, again, maybe stop that. But overall, I mean, Jameson Taillon, it's just what the doctor ordered.
Amen to that. You felt tonight that there was a little bit of this, what I like to call veteran leadership. And you saw that from a guy like Jameson Taillon tonight, a guy who probably sat there and thought, man, like this can go downhill really quick. We've seen this in the past, Alex, with this ball club the last couple of years. A team that just, seems to go on a little bit of a rut, a little bit of I don't know what you want to call it, a little bit of a losing streak, or you feel like when bad things happen, bad things continue to happen, and I alluded to this earlier on in my comment of, after hard losses this year, this team always bounces back. Well, it was good to see that it didn't come from the offense right away, right? Through 5 innings, this ball game was tied 1-1, and Jameson Taillon kept us in this ball game. And luckily enough, we'll talk about a particular hitter. I'm going to talk about a particular hitter in our second segment who I thought was the game-changing at-bat to lead to that 8-run inning there in the 6th. But you felt like tonight he said, you know what? This is a lower-level team. I don't need to worry about the long ball as much with this squad because I should be able to dominate them. And I felt like tonight that he just attacked and attacked and attacked. And yes, there's going to be games where that doesn't work out, especially against those teams that are up at the upper echelon of the sport. But at the end of the day, it goes back to Little League baseball, man. It goes back to, can you just throw strikes? Can you compete on the mound? And it was just good to see that we had a guy that came out there after the tough loss last night and really stepped up when we needed him most.
Yeah, and that's a great point. That is such a veteran leadership type thing. And even Justin Turner, like, we were all ready to DFA him. He had, I think it was 3 hits. Let me just double check that very quickly. But he was awesome at the plate tonight as I look up. Yeah, Justin Turner, 3 for 4 tonight with an RBI. We were all ready to cut him 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's just the veteran leaders stepped up. Dansby, holy hell, what a slide that was. The game was kind of already breaking open by that point. But just the fingertip touches home plate. They challenge. They lose their challenge. He scores. Everyone's fired up. I mean, and I don't know what at bat you're talking about that changed the game, but for me, I have it in my key moments here. When Matt Shaw stepped.
Oh,
that's the one.
That's the one, baby. That's the one. Let's talk about it.
So, if you didn't see this at bat, Matt Shaw against Ryan Weathers, who again tonight was really, really good. But Matt Shaw had a 12-pitch at bat, which effectively ended his night because he was out then shortly after. And even though it didn't do much, it didn't score a run, it totally flipped the game on its head. And you were excited to talk about this pregame, so I'm just going to, you know what? You get the ball, ISO, everybody clear out. Ty's got the ball.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. I will correct you because I want to so badly. It was 11 pitches. But it felt like 36.
It did.
Because what we saw tonight from Matt Shaw, which was like almost like a proud moment as like a not as like a father or anything like that, but almost like a coach. Like I coached for multiple years. And when you have a star-studded player that goes, that has, a little bit of a stretch there where he wasn't doing so well, obviously, before he got sent back down, you felt for the guy because the guy couldn't be a better person. All he does is focus on baseball. He doesn't even have social media. I don't know if he even knows what a TV is. So you have a guy, though, that is truly about succeeding at this level. And yesterday we saw his first 2 at-bats where he went, dang it, like it's back to the old Shaw. And once something clicked, and you just never know what it is, and I wish we could have that conversation with Matt, because you saw his swings change in his 3rd at-bat yesterday and then his 4th at-bat, right? Ends up with 2 hits, and everyone's so stoked for him. But that at-bat today against Ryan Weathers, who is a left-hander that was topping out, I believe, at 98. If he got to 99, I wouldn't have been surprised. And he grinds out an 11-pitch at bat when Ryan Weathers was just around 64 pitches, right? It's at 64 pitches when Matt Shaw steps into the box. That leads to an 11-pitch at bat. That gets him to 75. You know how many pitches he threw in the game against the Cubs last week? 76, right? Coming off of an arm injury, he does not have the ability to go above 80 pitches. The Marlins aren't going to do that. So in Matt Shaw's head, he probably said, I'm not going to let this guy beat me. No matter what the result is, I won't let him beat me, right? He took a fastball on the inside half of the plate that was an unbelievable take that extended that at-bat out. Ian Happ, 5 pitches in his at-bat to end the 5th inning. 80 pitches, gets him out of the game. We go to the 6th inning. We've now gotten to their bullpen, which we could probably all agree that the Marlins bullpen isn't necessarily top tier. What does that lead to? An 8-run inning, right? These little moments, man, I wish that we would talk about these things in more depth, because when I played the game, those at-bats mattered a hell of a lot more sometimes than even a homer, because
Absolutely.
it matters more for the team. And Matt Shaw right now, he owns third base. He owns that batter's box. And pretty soon, he's going to be making an impact on this team offensively, even though he already has.
I couldn't have said it any better. That's such a great take.
Stressful pitches, man. Turner just hit a double, too, right before his at-bat. So not only are you getting 11 at pitch at-bat, but you're getting stressful. I have to strike this. I have to get an out here, right? Yes, yep. Matt Shaw grounds out. Yes, to all the analytical people out there, yes, his whatever it was, exit velo or launch angle or all this BS that we talk about now. But what he did for that ball club was tremendous. And I saw something that I did not see through his first stint with this big league club. So hats off to him.
And really, outside of his first at-bat back up yesterday that Cubs Twitter was up in arms about, all of his at-bats have been, quote-unquote, plus at-bats.
His swing is completely different.
He looks way more confident, too.
He looks like a dude who wants to do damage in this league.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for Matt Shaw.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? I mean, it sounds like they're facing Hunter Green this weekend for the Reds, and he is a beast. So, there might be some bumps along the way, but the fact that he came back up, they said, hey, you need to work on X, Y, Z. He's come back. They think he's ready, and back-to-back multi-hit games. And now, granted, the one was an infield chopper that he beat out, but still, that just builds the confidence for this young man who I think everyone in Cubs Nation, it's so weird when we're like, this guy sucks. This young guy doesn't have it. It's so go touch some grass, nerds. It doesn't it makes no sense to me that a homegrown guy was like, oh, he sucks. DFA him. He's no good. Don't you want all these guys to come up and help your team and be Hall of Famers? Like, it never makes sense to me that after a game, it's like, no, he sucks. Like, can you give him a second to breathe? So I am so happy for that guy, especially because yesterday of all days, Cubs Twitter especially, was just a poison well. Everyone in every direction was just getting acid thrown at them. So the fact that everyone settled down, our chat even today is much more calm and just, hey, great job, boys. Let's get a win tomorrow.
Shout out the chat. Shout out the folks that are in here every single day.
Absolutely.
Commenting, engaging. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time out of your nights to do this with us.
Absolutely. And even if you listen to us on audio next day, anything is appreciated. So we love doing it, and we love that you love to engage with us. So any other notes? Actually, before we move on to one of the favorite things I've done on this channel, hopefully, Seiya Suzuki, we have a stat of the day. It's not a world-beating stat of the day, but it's enough to summon the choir. Choir, come on in here.
Stat of the day.
After the game today, can you guess who leads Major League Baseball? Not just the National League, not the American League, all of baseball in RBIs. That would be one. That would be one, Mr. Seiya Suzuki. He now leads Major League Baseball with 43 RBIs in what continues to be one of the most strange and baffling seasons I can ever remember, because his slash line is down from last year, but yet he's been driving the ball. He's hitting more homers. I have to shout out Seiya because, again, he was really good tonight. He's been really solid in the field. He played right field today instead of left now that Happ was back. What else can I say? Seiya Suzuki, happy you're on the team, fella.
Happy you're on the team. And look, let's be honest. The relief this guy is going to feel throughout the year with the way this lineup has looked, and the guys that are in front of him, right? I mean, Ian Happ being back into the fold, like, a guy who's going to get on base quite a bit for us, like, he's going to have that relief. Kyle Tucker being behind him. It's truly remarkable. And I know we need to get to our next segment here, but I want to make one other point about one other guy who really stepped up for us tonight was Mr. Kyle Tucker. A man that
Absolutely.
went from being, we should have offered him 500 million to being offered maybe 150 million if you follow Cubs X, which I will be done with very soon. What I thought was this is just a huge thing that I thought of when I mentioned this last night when I said, like, what are the keys to tomorrow's game? And I said Kyle Tucker, just because you go, we go was a saying I always love to use in baseball, especially with our top level players, whether I was coaching or playing. But you saw tonight, which was really interesting, was were you able, Alex? I know that you were getting your tooth, whatever was going on with your teeth.
Just a teeth cleaning.
Just a simple teeth cleaning. Make sure you go get your teeth cleaning, folks. Like the at bat in the first inning with Kyle Tucker versus Weathers. Were you able to watch that at bat?
Yes, I don't remember it though.
The homer he hit, right?
Yes.
When it comes to lefties, when I was playing, one of the things I would hear from a lot of coaches when it came to lefties that were struggling was that it was always great for them to face, whether that was a lefty pitcher, a difficult lefty, just a lefty in general, right? It makes them focus. It makes them, the hitter, focus more on staying in the middle of the field, right? Because you don't want to pull off, because obviously if you get a slider or an off-speed pitch, if you're pulling off the ball, you're generally going to ground it out to the first base side, right? What have we seen Kyle Tucker do as of late quite a bit? Is ground balls to the right side, whether it was lefties or righties, right? So it felt like tonight he used that lefty at bat as an opportunity to get back into the fold. And that swing he had, you could almost see like that relief when he hit that ball, man. It was chef's kiss, man. It was beautiful. That swing was gorgeous. And you could tell that, like, okay, like now he's staying on the ball a little bit more. He's going to face Weathers again, which I believe he did. He may have, whatever the result was, but that at bat was so critical because then the rest of the game, and you could see he was just staying on the ball a little bit longer. What does staying on the ball a little bit longer mean, folks? It means keeping your hands in the zone longer, which keeps the barrel in the zone longer, which ultimately lead to more success. And unfortunately, you know what? He's a big league hitter, but he's still a human being. At the end of the day, guys go into slumps. It is what it is. He's a $500 million player this offseason for a reason. He showed it tonight. So just wanted to give him a big shout out.
No, and I'm glad you mentioned that before we moved on here because, yeah, it looked like he looked a little more comfortable tonight. He's been making good contact. He finally got the ball in the air. JD actually said it right before he hit the home run, like, hey, he's hitting the ball hard. Let's keep it off the ground. Let's get it in the air. Next pitch. Yep. Bam! Right into the right center field wall. Like, it was just, or over the right center field wall. Let's try saying that in English. But, yeah, no, I'm glad you shouted it out. Okay, so before we get to our game, let's talk about some roster moves that happened today very quickly. Ian Happ, obviously, if you watched the game, you already know. Ian Happ back in the lineup, was activated from the 10-day IL. Moises Ballesteros ends up going back to AAA Iowa, just as we all kind of had foreseen. And side note, it sounded like Ballesteros knew that this was going to be a short stay, so everyone was on the same page, so it's not like his feelings are hurt. So that was nice to hear. So Ballesteros down. Porter Hodge officially placed on the 15-day injured list with a left oblique strain. Not good considering obliques are typically 6 weeks, and then he's got to re-ramp up. I'm just telling you, folks, I am not a doctor, but I can imagine that one's going to hurt, and he might not be back till August, late July. I mean, we're already basically in June.
Well, but just make sure you add plus 3 weeks.
Well, right, that's the thing.
Or diagnoses. So 15-day IL, let's add about 6 weeks for this one.
Yeah, I think this one's going to hurt. And Jed Hoyer made a comment, actually made an appearance today on 670 The Score, said if there's any quote-unquote significant trades, it probably won't happen until mid to late June. That's just how the market is, and he's not wrong. So we will see. But for the time being, to take the place of Porter Hodge, they have brought back Ethan Roberts from AAA, which, not that I was totally surprised, but just the way Gavin Hollowell has pitched at the big league level. Keegan Thompson has been doing well. He's been doing kind of long man stuff, starting, bullpen. He's kind of been mixing it up. But Keegan Thompson has been doing well. So I was just a little like, oh, Ethan Roberts. All right. But so those are your roster moves. Now it is time for a new game. Since it's Tuesday, we needed a little Tuesday bit. We've been doing a lot of deep dives and analytics. We want to do something fun with you, the fans. We're going to play a new game that I like to call Yeah, it is a Tuesday, this or that. Let's try this out now. So, first things first, StreamYard, our platform that we use, has the ability to show the comments on stage. We're going to try that. I have not tried it yet. I only ask that we keep the comments without swearing. Oh, look at that. It does show up. That's kind of cool. So you guys will be able to play along with us, but please try to keep cursing out of the picture. Okay.
If you do not, we will kick you from this chat. I have no problem saying goodbye to someone who doesn't respect what we're about to do. Okay, back to being
Absolutely.
back to being unserious.
And if you're listening on audio, so we're playing a game of this or that. So I am going to throw Ty a couple different questions, this or that, and he will have to answer accordingly. And in the chat below, make sure you are commenting. Play along with us. So with that in mind, the first question, Ty, that I have for you in our new game, this or that, what pitching group are you currently more concerned about? The bullpen or the starting rotation?
Give me a really tough one off the top.
Yeah, we're not messing around. This is
Okay,
this or that, baby.
I will probably be wrong to half the crowd, and half of the crowd will be right too. I'm going to say that I'm more concerned right now based on the starting pitching, and here's why. I believe that with Ben Brown sort of being a wild card in that 5 spot, and the options we have beyond him are not very good. So I love the fact that we have Chris Flexen as our rotation piece, right? I enjoy having that. But the fact is that Jordan Wicks has not proven at the big league level to be successful. Brandon Birdsell, who is a very, very big name that everybody was talking about, had a very successful year last year. I want to say he won even an award. He ain't coming back anytime soon, okay? And I love Matthew Boyd. I love Colin Ray. I love Jameson Taillon. But those are 3 guys that haven't shown to be what I would call elite level starting pitching, that you can say that you have a 1 and 2 in that rotation. So right now we're rolling out a bunch of 3s and 4s, and the options beyond them is just not what I believe can really get us through a longer stretch than probably what we originally anticipated with the Shota Imanaga news. I think with the bullpen, yes, there are concerns with a few guys like a Julian Merriweather and others. But in my opinion, I think you have better options with a guy like Ryan Brazier. I know Keegan Thompson, I think Dave mentioned this in the chat, needs to be put on the 40-man. But I like a Keegan Thompson. I think Ethan Roberts has been fine. I think he's actually an okay options as well. Gavin Hollowell has looked like a very sneaky piece that we can use. And if Luke Little figures it out, his ceiling is much more than what some of those guys have in that starting rotation right now. So I'm going to lean starting rotation. It's not necessarily a confident choice, in my opinion, but that's what I'm going to go with.
No, I think I'm with you, because I think if you get longer starts like tonight, now granted they kicked the ever-loving bleep out of the Marlins, but I do think that if you have stability in your rotation, that'll take a lot of pressure off of that bullpen where, hey, you have guys that can consistently go 6-7 innings. But that just takes a lot of pressure off your bullpen guys. So right now, I guess I could have rephrased this too, where would you rather trade at this very moment for a starter or a reliever? I think a starter is more important for them, because if they lose, let's say Matthew Boyd with an injury history, if they lose Taillon, now what? We kind of touched on it last night, but it's like, oh boy. At least in the bullpen, you have guys, Ethan Roberts, Keegan Thompson. Are those sexy names? Absolutely not. But at least you have options there. But I do think stability in the rotation will lengthen out that bullpen a little bit.
And with the weaker schedule as well, with the bullpen, you're not necessarily worried about like a 3, 4, 5 in the lineup that you're like truly concerned about. With the starting rotation, like you got to get through 5. Right. And I just don't feel that confident right now in what I'm seeing from the starting rotation. So that's where I'm at.
Well, especially since Kade Horton hasn't pitched over 80 pitches. Ben Brown has been a roller coaster. Boyd and Ray have been who would have thought? If I would have told you in March, hey, the 2 best starters on the Cubs on May 20th will be Colin Ray and Matthew Boyd, you probably would have been like, oh, God, things have gone sideways. Which from a health standpoint, it kind of has been a year from hell at this point. But let's move on to the next question I have for you. This, and also I want to point out, since the chat is participating, chat is leaning bullpen, and I can't say I blame you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're all talking. We're all talking this out together as a group.
It's a great conversation point. That was a great question.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm going to top that one, but our next one, Who are you more scared of in this division? The St. Louis Cardinals or the Milwaukee Brewers? If you're in the chat, let us know. Cardinals, Brewers, who are you more scared of this season as a Cubs fan?
I think right now, in my opinion, I think the offense from the Cardinals is just 10 times what the offense is from the Brewers. So I'm going to lean more of the Cardinals, and also too, their starting rotation for the Cardinals right now. Like, I was reading some of those names. Sonny Gray obviously is fantastic. Eric Fetty has been a solid pitcher since coming back over from, I believe it was the KBO. Palante, he's an average arm in the league. Miles Michaelis is not necessarily probably going to be their lowest tier, but Matthew Liberatore is an excellent arm. You look at the Brewers right now, they are reliant heavily on a William Contreras and a Jackson Chourio, and Chourio is in a really big funk right now. So I'm going to lean more towards the Cardinals just based on the fact that their lineups are a little bit better. And from the starting rotation standpoint, the Brewers starting rotation, beyond Freddie Peralta, yeah, Chad Patrick's had a decent year, but who do you really trust out of these names I'm going to mention to you? Quinn Priester, Logan Henderson, or Chad Patrick? I'm just not seeing it. And then finally, with the rankings, if you look at the rankings across baseball, and you can do that, everyone going on Fangraphs, it's unbelievable how poor the Brewers are from a ranking standpoint across the league, whether it is their bullpen or their offense or the rotation comparatively to the Cardinals. So right now I'm leaning Cardinals. It scares me though in the back of my head just because of the fact that the Brewers have been just unbelievable the last couple of years, but I think this is not necessarily their year.
And I know I've mentioned this before, and I'm not going to keep milking this, so this will be the last time I mention it. I was in Milwaukee on Saturday for their game against the Twins. Now, the Twins were red hot, but I'm telling you, the vibes in that building were horrendous. Second batter of the game, Jeffers. I mean, one of the hardest hit home runs I've ever seen live to left center field. And that place.
Jeffers from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Ryan Jeffers, yeah.
That place deflated so quickly after the game. The manager was like, well, let's call a spade a spade. We didn't spend any money. I mean, the vibes for the Brewers right now are really bad. Even my friends that are Brewer fans are like, oh, this team sucks. And it's just, I want to mention, let me find the comment here. Rojo Cube said he fears the Reds. And they're probably going to be an option if we play this game in 2 months because I think they're a little banged up right now without Hunter Green, that rotation. Lodolo has been really good for them. But I have some questions about the Reds. And this is Sam Olber's point. It's such a good point. Their offense, if Matt McClain and Ellie De La Cruz do not perform, that offense is wildly pedestrian.
Same with the Brewers. It's the same thing with the Brewers when it comes to Contreras and Chourio.
Yeah. And they have guys like Yelich and Frelick, but those guys aren't Chourio and Contreras by any means. So I go Cardinals here. I don't think it's particularly close at the moment. And plus, we all know St. Louis will find some hot dog vendor that'll come out of the pen that no one's heard of, and he'll be throwing 98 with a nasty two-seam and a slider. And we all know this is how St. Louis does business. When they tried to build up and got an Arenado and a Goldschmidt, that's not the Cardinal way. The Cardinal way is, hey, this guy you've never heard of that throws 100, yeah, he's an all-star closer now. So I lean, and Rojo Cube in the comments that Hunter Green is coming back. Apparently, he's coming back for the Cubs series this weekend.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, and we just got an update. The Cardinals are tied with the Tigers right now, and the Tigers were up 4-0. So here come the Cardinals tonight. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, I like this one. I'm interested to hear your comment. Which young pitcher is more important to the Chicago Cubs this season? Not long-term. This 2025 season. Cade Horton or Ben Brown?
I think it's Cade Horton, and the total reasoning why is the ceiling is just tremendously higher. And the fact that Shota Imanaga right now is your number one, if we're looking at players that are obviously going to pitch this year, the fact is that you don't have a true number two. And Cade Horton, in my opinion, and this is wild to say about a rookie, but he has the ability to have that ceiling to get to a number two, a legitimate number two by the end of this year. Ben Brown, just because of the fact that he only has 2 pitches, I know this is talked about ad nauseum, but the fact is that when he doesn't have one of those pitches, he's screwed. Yeah. So I just don't see his ceiling being that high this year, if I'm being honest with you. I will switch my opinion, though, if Ben Brown moves to the bullpen. because that could be vital. If he moves to the bullpen, I think I switch that opinion. But as of right now, if we're thinking about both are starters for the rest of the year, it's Cade Horton. It's not even close.
I'm giggling because I'm a It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan, and Rojo Cube just pointed out that Cade Horton, his answer is Cade Horton. He said Ben Brown is a Charlie Kelly wild card. And I wish I had that as like a soundboard where I could play wild card, but I can't. But no, I think Cade Horton for the starting rotation is ultra important. But I'm right there with you. If Ben Brown, if they decide, okay, Cade Horton, we're going to keep you as a starter once Imanaga's back. Ben Brown, we're going to move you to the bullpen. It's a little too inconsistent, but you still have value here. I mean, Ben Brown in the bullpen with that mix, we've seen it. He can be dominant in short spurts. The length has been a bit of an issue this year, but holy smokes. And the chat was, let's see. So it looks pretty split at the moment, but yeah, I mean, some KO Sports Talk put Brown in the closer role. I mean, I didn't actually know. That's actually our next question. So let's transition. So my question to you, Ty, I have nominated 2 players here. Chat, feel free to nominate others. But while Porter Hodge is on the injured list, who should be the closer? I have 2 names here. Brad Keller or, dare I say, Ryan Presley. Now, before everyone blows up, everyone just chill the F out. Ryan Presley, if you take out the San Francisco Giants game where he was horrendous, he has a 1.56 ERA and went almost a full month without giving up a run. So, Ryan Presley or Brad Keller?
Oh, man. You know why this is hard?
Because those 2 names are like the least sexy and obvious names.
My initial reaction is to tell you to go Brad Keller. And the reasoning why is that it's just a total velo jump from 92 to 97. The problem is, though, is that Keller can go multiple innings. Mm-hmm. And so losing that would be very tough, especially where the bullpen is at this point. So I'm going to lean Brad Keller on the sole fact of I'm going to feel a hell of a lot more confident in the 9th inning if Brad Keller is in there rather than Ryan Presley. You make a very good point with the Ryan Presley stat. Ryan Presley, it's Ryan Stressley for a reason. I get that. But realistically, he has, especially against that tough schedule with some of those teams, like he found a way.
Yeah.
And there is a beauty to that. But I think that right now I would lean more Brad Keller. The problem is, though, is that multi-inning role then would have to swap to a guy like a Ben Brown. So move Ben Brown to the long reliever role. He gives you that 2 to 3 inning scenario, and then Brad Keller can become your closer. If he's not moving to the long reliever role or the bullpen for Ben Brown, then right now I'd probably rather keep Brad Keller in that role, man. That's a tough one. At the end of the day, who do I want the ball in the 9th inning? I'd rather go Keller.
I think if you need 3 outs, Keller's the most dependable. But the only reason I put Presley, A, he's got experience. B, this is why they brought him in, was to be the closer. And really outside of that, well, I mean, it hasn't always been pretty. Outside of the San Francisco game, he's low-key been really solid, which is kind of crazy to say because I'm pretty sure I'm balding because he's had these stressful.
Well, do you remember his appearance against LA at Wrigley? Like he dominated him.
Yeah.
Dominated. So there is that in him, but it's just a little too much. It's a little. He's going to be throwing 30 pitches every time he's out.
This is why I thought it was a good either or because Brad Keller has
fantastic.
Clearly been their best reliever. But then you lose maybe a multi-inning guy if you desperately need him. Or the guy who you brought in to be the closer originally, who's actually, again, I know fans don't want to hear it because Ryan Stressley and the first impression was bad. I get it. I really do. But low-key, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
And even though the numbers, the metrics might not back it up, at this point, I don't necessarily care about metrics. I want results. I want wins. So even last night, while I don't blame Palencia that much for blowing up, it's just I want results. Palencia has the stuff, but I want someone who can get results. And according to the chat, I see a Drew Pomerantz in here. I honestly, it's more split than I thought. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the comments in the bottom corner there. It's more split than I thought. There's a lot of, it looks like Keller is, according to the fans, Rojo Cube, Presley has too much heart attack, Hector. And that is true. But I mean, let's face it. If, you were going to get kneecapped, you had to get 3 outs or you get kneecapped. Do you trust Neris or Presley? I think I lean Presley there. And I don't even think it's
not even a comparison.
I was going to say, I don't even think it's a lean.
Oh, shut off the show. Shut off the show. God, poor guy's been sick for a couple of weeks, everyone. It's okay. It's all right. He's just
I might have a lawsuit. You keep making me laugh. This cough is going to kill me. I got a lawsuit.
Let's get to the game next. Let's get to the game tomorrow. Let's get to the game.
All right. Yes, we are running up against clock. So tomorrow's matchup, actually, let's get into it. I was going to play the Obvious Shirts, but folks, if you've been watching, get your swag at Obvious Shirts. Your Setup Man Obvious Shirt swag. Link in the description below. All right, tomorrow's matchup. We have a nooner between the Cubs and Marlins. 12:10 is the start time. It'll be Cade Horton versus Max Meyer going for the Marlins. Max Meyer this season is 3-4 with a 4.47 ERA and 50 in a third innings pitch. His career against the Cubs, he's only got 1 start. He gave up 3 earned runs in 6 innings. Not too shabby. Cade Horton obviously has never faced the Marlins before. This is only his 3rd start. On the season, 2-0, has given up 3 home runs, which is the only real concern. He gave up a 3-run homer to Brett Beatty in his first appearance in New York, and then gave up 2 homers his last appearance against the White Sox with the wind blowing straight out to left field, although those homers probably didn't need a lot of help to begin with. But Horton versus Meyer. Ty, can we expect a series win tomorrow? Maybe?
I think we can. I don't think Meyer's been as great as late as you look at his numbers in the month of May has been really a struggle for him since May 3rd. He's given up an average of almost 4.5 earned runs per game. While that may not be awful in essence of where their bullpen may be at this point with sort of being drawn out here today, I can see, especially with the Cubs now resting their bullpen, I can see them being able to rely on Horton for, just getting through 5. Just getting through 5 is all I need tomorrow. Max Meyer is no joke. I mean, he's definitely a guy who's got some high velo and he's got the stuff. So I'm fascinated to see, can this lineup handle this situation tomorrow, which, again, like you said last night, Alex, this is a must-win today. It's a must-win tomorrow. You got to get out of Miami 2 out of 3 because the game last night was just so atrocious. So I definitely see them having a really good opportunity to win this ball game tomorrow. Again, Max Meyer is no slouch, but I think that we're catching him at a good time where he's struggled as of late. So this is not, again, he's faced the Tampa Bay Rays, the White Sox, the Athletics, the Mariners in his last 4 games. In comparison to the Cubs lineup, it's not even close. So I think this team is going to put up quite a few runs tomorrow. We just need Cade Horton to get through 5. That's all I need. Just get through 5 and we'll be in good shape.
I'm with you. And I do think tomorrow's game is really critical because I really do believe in my gut that I think the Cincinnati series is going to be really tough. So I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I know they haven't played very well. I know their offense has been a bit of a roller coaster, but
it's a division rival, man.
Division rival who wants to take what you have right now. They played us tough last year. They're going to play us tough this year. So it is really important tomorrow that you come out of Miami with a victory, a place that has given you nightmares before. So exactly, we are hunting W's tomorrow. That is going to do it for us tomorrow with a noon game. Ty and I will be recording, and we will be live later in the day. What time exactly? We haven't settled on a time yet, but we will be doing a show live tomorrow night because we both have jobs, and Ty is really hunting that victory.
Get it, baby. Get it done. Get it done.
Oh, Jesus. We can't work together. You're going to kill me with this cough. But anyway, for all that played this or that in the comments with us, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, fun game overall. Make sure on your way out the door, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this channel with your friends, all kinds of. Oh, before we go, I cannot finish this show without we have some breaking news. Not Cubs related, Ty. I see your eyes bulge out of your head. From Ty and myself, we want to give a congratulations to Setup Man, the Setup Man himself, Kyle. He welcomed a little baby Anthony into the world today. So Kyle will be on the paternity list He will be back at some point with the next couple of weeks. But congratulations to Kyle and his wife for the birth of their son, Anthony, which they live out in California. I said that kid better be in pinstripes and not that horrid Dodger blue. So we'll see how that goes. But just wanted to shout out Kyle and his wife because fantastic. And obviously Anthony has got some Cubs lore in there too. So congratulations to Kyle. That'll do it for us, though. We will be back tomorrow night with a live stream recapping the nooner between the Cubs and the Marlins. And Ty's pointing to his elbow if you're watching on YouTube. That means we're going to go ice up. So long, everybody.